A windy and wintry whiteout of Beaver Stadium as these Penn State fans try to push the Nittany Lions to a signature upset and sidetrack Ohio State's playoff hopes in a Big Ten collision involving #2 undefeated Ohio State and the Penn State Nittany Lions, who come in at 4-2 off back-to-back victories. And welcome to Happy Valley. We are certainly happy to be here. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Samantha Ponder will join us. Once a year, they white out this stadium and try to impose themselves on the visitors. Ohio State seems pretty undaunted by most experiences on the road. They've won at Norman, won at Madison, of course, in overtime last week. They'll not be freaked out by this, but we'll see if the Lions are inspired by it.
And Chris, I think that those experiences, even though this is still a young football team, give them confidence coming into this game in this whiteout atmosphere. The other thing is JT Barrett, the quarterback for Ohio State. The fact that he has been out there and played in so many of these battles, they know how he'll react, and they lean on him and obviously rely on him. Face it, last week in Madison, Ohio State still trying to kind of find that passing game, but one thing they can count on, his ability to improvise. Oftentimes he was holding the ball in that backfield, good coverage downfield, but he's able to find the first down. Here, extending a play, third down, a crucial moment in the game. He feels the pressure, steps away from it. There's the strength to get away, keep the play alive, and instead of running, instead he finds Curtis Samuel downfield for a big first down. And this is kind of that X factor I always talk about, the leadership in overtime, willing his team to a victory, kind of finding a way to get it done. And keep in mind, Curtis Samuel, maybe the most electrifying player on that Ohio State offense. They're going to find unique ways to try to get him out in space and give him a chance to make some big plays.
Yeah, they score about 50 a game, so Penn State's defense needs all the help it can get. It gets some good news because two key linebackers returned tonight after injuries. Jason Cabinda, middle linebacker, Brandon Bell on the outside, may not start. They hope to get a lot of snaps out of these guys. All hands on deck needed to slow down Ohio State, but Garrett Sickles, their top defensive lineman, sits out the first half with a suspension. Can the Lions, Kirk, score enough points to pull this upset?
Well, they got one of the best backs in the Big Ten, Saquon Barkley. Had a big game last year against the Buckeyes, close to 200 yards. I think he's coming into this game the best he's played in the last two games against Minnesota and Maryland. I think the quarterback, Trace McSorley, to me, is the key for Penn State. He's still a young quarterback. He's going to be going up against a very athletic Ohio State defense. They run a lot of what Ohio State will do, a lot of zone read. He needs to be involved in the running game to open up opportunities for Barkley, and that could also open opportunities for the play action pass.
Yeah, he really admires JT Barrett. Can he live up to that standard on a wintry, windy night? Little precipitation in the air. Emotion is a given. How will they use it? How will they challenge it?
Quite a scene. Big opportunity for both these teams tonight.
Unity is the reason behind the whiteout, trying to bring this crowd of more than 105,000 together and impose themselves on the visitors from Ohio State, one of the great road teams we have seen in the history of this sport. 20 straight true road victories. And there is Saquon Barkley, the guy that Kirk highlighted in the opening. Can he have a big game as he did a year ago in a loss in Columbus? And JT Barrett, the steady hand, leading the Ohio State offense. The wind is howling, 15 to 20 miles per hour. It'll be a factor. It'll feel a lot colder than 43 degrees. And 100% chance of a white out. Penn State won the toss, and Kirk, James Franklin said he wants to establish early momentum, get the offense going. It's worked the last couple of weeks. He's taking the football. So Tyler Durbin will boot it away. And a true freshman, Miles Sanders, back deep for the Nittany Lions. Durbin drives it, and it'll go through the end zone. So here comes Trace McSorley, the sophomore who won the battle to be starting quarterback and brings an interesting skill set to this game.
He sure does. I think he's very comfortable with this system, his ability to run the ball, make quick decisions. He's got to compliment Saquon Barkley tonight in that zone read game. Quick reads. When he gets the ball out of his hands quickly, he's very accurate. And I honestly think he's going to have to take some shots downfield against Ohio State, who plays a lot of man-to-man coverage. He's got a great group of receivers. They've got to try to connect downfield. They average about 8 shots a game downfield.
How many can McSorley connect on? Myers says this is the best group of receivers that he's faced in a while, not just this season.
I think another reason he wants to try to get the ball downfield is the battle in the trenches on paper favors the young Ohio State defensive line. They've really playing well these last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, a couple of freshmen at guard for Penn State. Barkley in the backfield. They fake it to him, and it is a run for McSorley. Comes out of Ashburn, Virginia. Quick guy, not overly physical. Here's your impact players from Chick-fil-A.
Well, you're going to start with Saquon Barkley. We've talked a lot about him tonight. And also Paris Palmer, who is in starting at left tackle. He played a lot last year, had 11 starts, but with the injury to Andrew Nelson, he steps in at left tackle, and Brandon Mann moves from left over to right tackle.
On 2nd and 5, a delayed handoff, and Barkley's got room. Saquon Barkley barreling out near midfield. He had a breakout game against the Buckeyes last year in Columbus, 194 yards.
Just talked about man-to-man. Watch the linebacker Baker turn his back and run with the tight end. There's nobody left there because he's dropping back in coverage, concerned with the tight end. So getting through the initial surge of the Ohio State defensive line, all of a sudden it opened up for a very talented Saquon Barkley.
He got 19 on his first carry. He's got it again, trying to get the edge. Sam Hubbard did a good job forcing him out, and Jerome Baker was there as well.
A big part of this offense having success tonight and opportunities is when you run Barkley and you get McSorley involved in the running game, all of a sudden the Ohio State defense gets concerned about that. The linebackers, the safeties, and that opens up opportunities for play action pass to try to throw the ball downfield.
And there is a play action pass, and it's Mike Gesicki, the tight end. Gangly, dangerous receiver speeding down inside the Ohio State 30.
Just talk, Chris, about what running the ball can do, and watch the linebackers because they have to be aware and respect that. See how they both came up. You saw Raekwon McMillan and Chris Worley both come up. See 35, he hesitates, nobody behind him, and they do a good job again getting the ball out of McSorley's hands quickly for a quick throw.
Gesicki is a 6'6", former All-American in high school basketball and football. And now McSorley, he's kind of an elusive guy, weaving his way for a nice gain on first down.
Shows you what he can do, making the linebackers miss there. He is a lot like a point guard running out on a fast break in a basketball court, going up and down the court. That's his kind of game with his quickness in the open field.
Lions don't really play at high tempo. They line up quickly, but they did take plenty of time to make adjustments, and they often use a lot of the play clock. Pass far side, and Gesicki slips down after making the catch, and he'll lose 4 yards.
Well, they had a lot of momentum going back to what James Franklin told us on this drive. I mean, they had Ohio State back on their heels with that tempo and with attacking the way they were. All of a sudden, they slow down just for a moment, and all of a sudden, they lose a few yards, and now they're 3rd and medium. This is where Ohio State will really crank up the pressure on that defensive line.
Yeah, 3rd down has been a nightmare for this offense all season long. 123rd in the country, converting at 27%. Barkley's in the slot to the right. McSorley trying to escape. He'll be brought down right at the line of scrimmage by Jalen Holmes, one of those speedy pass rushers off the edge. And a field goal attempt coming up here from Tyler Davis, who has been perfect this season. Kirk 10 for 10, made 18 in a row, and this would be a bonus for Franklin to get points out of the first drive.
Yeah, they moved the ball well there and had a second down play call just slowed them down. And when you put Ohio State's defensive line in a position on 3rd down, they're going to come after you. They're as good as you'll see.
This from 39 yards to give the Lions a quick lead. It's blocked. Ohio State blocks it. And the streak ends. Trying to pick it up and return it is Damon Webb, who's trying to get some blocks on the far side. A flag comes in on the return. He'll be pushed out near the 30, but so much for 18 in a row by Tyler Davis.
It looked like a block in the back by Robert Landers, the defensive lineman, but first to block. Ohio State getting great penetration. Really low kick. Go
On
back
the return, personal foul.
see the hold here by Gula.
Return team number 67.
Oh, he got it down. It looked like it might not be able to do that, but he was able to get the hold down, but it looked like just a low kick.
Yeah, there's some precipitation. Looked like Gula had some trouble sort of handling that snap and getting the ball spun properly. So Penn State drives 54 yards, but comes up empty. And after the penalty, Ohio State will be backed up here. Sam?
Yeah, Chris, a sudden change in weather down here. They weren't anticipating rain tonight. They've been trying to find anything they can on the sidelines to cover stuff up. They just pulled out the jackets. We've also got wind swirling. So this is kind of out of nowhere. We'll see how much it affects
Is
things.
that unwelcome surprise for you, too, as well?
Loudest part of it, obviously, right in front of that student section. Loudest part of the stadium.
Barrett and the tailback Mike Weber in the end zone. Trying to get the Lions to jump. They were disciplined, and in a short game, Weber plowing forward. Actually, turns it into a nice game behind that big O-line.
Good initial surge there. Urban Meyer and Ed Warner calling the plays. The offensive coordinator backed up near their own end zone, their goal line there, just making sure to be very efficient here. And I think you're going to see more of Mike Weber. You know, last week he only had 11 carries against Wisconsin. I think you'll see that up to 20 to 25 tonight. Take some of the wear and tear off of JT Barrett in the running game.
Be a good idea. You feed him again, and he muscles near the marker. You're right, that could be very difficult to operate offensively. The student section down there, it is the loudest part of the stadium. This is where the poise of number 16 is so important.
Absolutely, and the tackles, Jones and Prince, they're looking in there.
Third and short, and Weber moves the sticks.
You practice this all week, dealing with the crowd, and we talked earlier, they've been in Norman, they've been to Madison, so they're used to dealing with it. You have a veteran quarterback that knows how to handle adversity. But as far as the snap count itself, you know, those offensive tackles many times are out on an island where they can't hear anything, and they're looking down into the ball to be able to see when the ball is being snapped and having to look up and after the ball is snapped and react to the defense.
First keeper for Barrett, and he is swallowed up immediately, hit by Terrence Brown, defensive end.
This defense knows coming into this game that Ohio State has not had great success throwing the ball downfield. Their passing game the last few weeks has been more short to intermediate. So they want to take away those short to intermediate throws, and they really want to lock in on JT Barrett, Mike Weber, and Curtis Samuel in the running game.
Samuel in the slot to the left, empty backfield for Barrett on 2nd and 9, delivers a pass dropped. Noah Brown, the opposing receiver, couldn't come up with it. 3rd and 9 now.
He would have been short even if he was able to come up with this catch, but on a cold night, these receivers from Ohio State keep track of drops for both sides. We got to do a really good job of concentrating, being able to secure that football before worrying about taking off and running.
JT straight back from the pocket, crossing route. Dontre Wilson stretches, does not get first down yardage. Brandon Bell, the linebacker, again back from an injury, holds him out, and here comes a punt.
Yeah, you talked about Bell in the open, and he's one of the more instinctive linebackers they have. They've missed him, obviously, along with Kabinda these last 4 or 5 weeks. The leadership, if nothing else, and big there for the Penn State defense to get a 3 and out, or to get the force to punt here to get the ball back to their offense.
John Reed back deep to receive the punt from the Aussie, perhaps the nation's best punter. Johnston again into the wind. The last one was 54 yards. This one not quite as good, but it's muffed. And the ball fought for, and Ohio State has cashed in the takeaway. Terry McLaurin, the receiver. We knew it would be a tough night for special teams, and that was an ill-advised attempt by John Reed there.
Yeah, the corner who is the punt return man, and McLaurin all over that. And you figured somebody's going to get a break here. With the way this game is going, with the field position, Ohio State's been backed up deep in their own territory, and it's a drop punt return that opens up the opportunity and gives Ohio State great field position now in deep, or not deep, but in Penn State territory.
After practice on Thursday, Reed was the last guy in the field working again and again, fielding punts out of the jugs machine, but it wasn't quite as windy as it is tonight. He's got to go back out there at the corner position, try to make a play to redeem himself.
Now, Curtis Samuel surprisingly doesn't have a touch yet. He's now in the slot right here.
Weber bounces it, gets blocks, stiff arm down inside the 20, hit out of bounds, and no flag, but an excellent run on Ohio State trying to cash in the takeaway in the red zone now.
That time Manny Bowen took a poor angle and run support. The outside linebacker took himself completely out of the play. You'll see 43 takes himself out, and then it's just a lot of room on the outside there, and Penn State almost a late hit there.
After a 23-yard gain, JT rolls out, was very close to the line of scrimmage when he fires incomplete on the far side. There's 18 seconds now in the first quarter. I wondered which team on a difficult night would make that first mistake. Wilson almost made it for Ohio State, but Conley saved him. Reed's fumble setting up the Buckeyes here. 2nd and 10. Barrett from the pocket, looks downfield, trying to get it to Samuel. There was some confusion in the coverage. He was open, but JT misfired.
Yeah, again, it's about trying to find the rhythm and timing. See, watch him kind of go in and then make his way back to the outside, and he kind of got held up there. And because he was held up, it didn't allow him to get to the outside where JT Barrett was anticipating him to be. And again, it's another example of just a little bit here, a little bit there with JT Barrett and his wide receivers in his passing game.
He's 3 of 6, but only 20 yards on those completions. And on 3rd and 15, Barrett looking again, flips it off short. This is Weber, and Weber is going to be tackled at the 15-yard line as the quarter winds down. Ohio State had scored in all 24 quarters so far this season, but they don't here. Field goal attempt will begin the second quarter. Zeros on the scoreboard in Happy Valley. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Big Ten border rivalry. After a scoreless first quarter, Buckeyes will attempt a field goal here. Tyler Durbin, 8 for 8 this season. Earlier they blocked a Penn State field goal. This from 33 yards. And Durbin knocks it through. So after the muffed punt by John Reed, the Buckeyes move it 22 yards and take the lead.
Yeah, I think Urban Meyer was a bit frustrated because he felt he had a chance for a touchdown. You saw him yelling at Paris Campbell. Let's go back to the 2nd down play where you could see Paris Campbell to the far left is trying to clear out. His job is just to clear. Take the defender with you, and by doing that, it'll open up a huge hole to the outside. He was held, slowed down, gotten away at Curtis Samuel. See how he's being held there. He can't clear that defender. It affects the timing. And then Urban on the sideline lets Paris Campbell know you've got to clear that defender. Just small things like that, clearing a defender can open it up and make the throw from JT Barrett to Curtis Samuel accurate and probably a touchdown on that drive instead of a field goal.
You know, so many components of the passing game execution, and again, we're just not yet seeing it click.
But people wonder what's going on. Why is it missing? It's little things like that. That's all it takes for you to be off by just a little bit. The difference between having to settle for a field goal or get a touchdown.
Ohio State will no doubt kick the ball to the left corner, and we'll see if Miles Sanders has a chance. Freshman from the 5. Very quick running back. He's a highly touted recruit out of the Pittsburgh area and making an impact as a returner. So now McSorley trying to reestablish the rhythm that was lost when Mike Gesicki, the tight end, went out for an injury. They fake it to Barkley. McSorley looking downfield, looping the ball high, and it's Tompkins who goes up and makes a nice catch. Now they say incomplete. Thought he had it. Hooker was in coverage, but couldn't quite collect it on a cold evening.
Well, that was a great effort by both Tompkins and also the safety Hooker to separate the football. I think that's an interesting look there. Look at this effort here by Tompkins, the receiver. Well, that looks like a well. At the end, he didn't complete the process of the catch.
No other tight end on the Penn State roster besides Gesicki has a catch this season. McSorley keeps it, and the Buckeyes were all over him. Chris Worley and Sam Hubbard. It's 3rd and long.
Another defensive lineman, Draymond Jones, 86, another guy that you don't hear a lot about, but watch him being able to affect the timing here, just the penetration. Nobody does a good job of blocking him, and because he's able to get in there and have an effect, you have Sam Hubbard and Chris Worley and a host of other Buckeye players in there with great pursuit.
This is that offensive line nightmare. You got 4 defensive ends for the Buckeyes on the field, Kirk.
Here they come.
And they're also showing some pressure. They end up only rushing 4. Those 4 guys flush McSorley out. Long way to go. Was already across the line of scrimmage when he pump faked, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down by Jalen Holmes.
You know, if Ohio State gets you to 3rd down, they've got obviously a great chance. Watch the pressure from the 4. What this does, kind of like Alabama has an ability to do this, it allows the other 7 in coverage. See McMillan? He's looking at the quarterback in case he's going to take off and run. Arnett, a nickelback, is in there. They don't have their backs turned and blitzing. They're playing zone and looking at McSorley as he takes off to scramble, rally to the ball.
Wilson back to receive the punt of Gillikin. Fair catch made. And that's more like it. That's what they want Dontre Wilson to do. Just make the safe catch. Buckeyes back to work after a 47-yard punt.
See what he's looking at there, potentially a blitz here from Reed. I don't know if they're adjusting that. Maybe Penn State calls that blitz off, but JT Barrett recognized that.
2 backs in the backfield, and it's Weber running right into heavy traffic on the left side. All right, Mr. Felica, throw it at us here. Who was the president?
We will answer today's Aflac Trivia question. The answer to the question about Walter Camp and his 25 straight road winning streak, was Grover Cleveland in 1888.
Do you know what was noteworthy about Grover Cleveland? Oh, there you go.
I was going to say
he served 2 non-consecutive terms.
I was going to say bonus question. Which term was it?
Fowler knows him.
It was the first term.
Open your wallet, Kirk. You'll see Grover's
yeah, right.
picture in there.
That's why you're like, oh, of course.
2nd and 7. Barrett gets good protection and delivers to Samuel. Finally, Curtis Samuel gets a touch, gets involved, and gets across the 40.
I'm surprised Penn State let him get free underneath. They brought a blitz, and because the blitz came from the outside linebacker, JT Barrett does a good job of seeing that, getting the ball out quickly. And now Allen, the safety, has to try to make a play against probably the most explosive player in the Big Ten, and one of the most explosive in the Big Ten, and Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, and it took him 24 plays tonight on offense before he finally gets a touch. 14-yard gain. And now Samuel motions over to the left side. Barrett running that way. Up, it's a reverse. Going to come back against the grain and knocked down for a loss. Kabinda was there in a hurry.
And Koa Farmer, also the outside linebacker, kind of found a home there at that outside linebacker spot. That's 7 right here in the front. His job is not to let the fleet-footed Samuel outside of him. It's okay if he cuts back in because you can see there's 2 other jerseys there, but just can't let him get outside of you. Again, JT Barrett recognized a potential threat there, this time from Farmer. 7, he's coming. Nope.
Barrett from the pocket dumps it off again to Weber. They've used that outlet pass pretty effectively tonight.
Weber has to be thinking, thank goodness I'm back involved in getting my hands on the football. It's been a quiet couple of weeks for him. Think about the pressure, and Mike Weber loves it. He welcomes it. But the last 3 years, Ohio State, they've had Carlos Hyde go over 1,500. Zeke went over 1,814 the national championship year, 1,800 again last year. And now it's Mike Weber's chance to become that featured back.
Talk about big shoes and that legacy. Empty backfield on 3rd and 7. Barrett steps up and delivers a strike for a first down, and they get Samuel involved on this drive, his second catch, and they're at the 46 of Penn State.
Well, he does a good job of working and finding the area in the zone. See, right here he's covered, but watch him work back to the outside. There's the timing right there between JT Barrett and his receiver, Curtis Samuel. That was perfectly done.
And motion Samuel out. Barrett looked that way. Now fires back to Brown on the right side, and he muscles for about 6 yards. What an imposing receiver he is. TV doesn't do this guy justice when you see him in person on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's as physical of a receiver as you'll see. I mean, they list him at 218, but I think he's up near 225. And remember, he lost some weight a couple years ago, had the leg injury a year ago. He was ready to have a big year and fought his way back this year to become the featured receiver with all those wide receivers now into the NFL. And what he's become is that red zone target where he can outfight you for the football.
If you're Grant Haley lining up across him, you're giving away about 40 pounds of muscle there. Dart across the middle, and Wilson cannot collect it. Jason Cabinda was active again there. It's 3rd and long again.
Penn State's starting to bring some pressure. Cabinda out there leading the way, providing that leadership, making sure everybody's lined up, but he's starting to bring some edge pressure with these outside linebackers and safeties. That time it was Koa Farmer who disguised late and came from JT Barrett's left and really forced him to get rid of that football pretty quickly.
3rd and 8 after the timeout, empty backfield.
JT Barrett 5 of 6 on this drive after starting 4 of 10.
Lions back out, don't blitz, and Barrett has all day, flips it short. Paris Campbell makes the catch, fighting, but does not get first down yardage. 4th and 2.
That's perfect defense. Ohio State tried to look for receivers downfield. They took it away. They forced a throw underneath, and then they tried to chase the ball. Now it's going to set up Urban Meyer to take this chance here on 4th down.
Yeah, if they run a play here, they'll go on 4th down for the 13th time this season. They're 9 of 12. Barrett keeping all the way and makes the first down and a lot more down inside the 30. Predictable but tough to stop, Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's coming. This time Billy Price, watch the right guard come out, gets a nice kick out block. He just goes right underneath that block right there. You can also see the freshman Jordan climbing up to the linebacker there. So well executed by Ohio State there on 4th and short.
They are 10 of 13 converting 4th down this year now. It off inside, and Weber tries to bounce it, but he wrestled down after a short gain. He's getting a little feisty in there.
Ohio State trying to get a better push with that offensive line with the double teams. You have Elflein and Price trying to get a push. On the left side, you have Jamarco Jones and Michael Jordan, but give Penn State some credit. You know, an undersized defensive line holding their own up there at the point of attack.
Barrett from the pocket. Flips it short. Wow, the tight end just banging off people. Spinning, staying alive, and scoring. Touchdown, Ohio State. You deserve to flex after making a catch and run like that.
Going to take a peek at his feet. What an effort here by Ball. What a tremendous athlete. Inbounds there. Keep in mind, 6'5", 255 pounds. Spin move all the way into the end zone.
Junior out of California, did stay in bounds. Guys just bouncing off of him, would not be denied. His second touchdown reception this season.
Remember last week at Madison, the catch he made when he went up into the air, spinning in midair and getting his feet down for a big catch?
Acrobatic move there.
Yeah.
Oh, the snap not handled cleanly, and the extra point is missed by Durbin. On a cold night, it's been tricky. Football perhaps a little bit wet. And Durbin Not able to convert. Cam Johnson, the fine punter, was the holder there.
You're going to see action this way with Ohio State, and it forces the linebackers and even the safety back here to all come up. They're out of position. Allen, number 2, see how quickly they're coming up because of this action right here? And look how quickly he gets out behind the safety, makes it very easy. And the best thing that JT Barrett did was he saw it right away and quickly got the ball thrown out to Marcus Ball. Now that he makes the catch, he can lower his shoulder right there, take the hit from Haley, and now fight to try to get to the end zone. So great effort by the tight end, but great recognition by JT Barrett and a good job of getting the ball out quickly.
And Ohio State, with the way their defense is playing, has command of things for the moment. Sanders shows his explosiveness and scoots out to the 30-yard line. Barkley has been their best weapon, wrestled down after a short gain.
And what that does when you take away a target like Gesicki is it puts obviously even more on the running game of Barkley and McSorley, but it also, to me, it forces your passing game to change. Guys like Godwin, who have been around, and Hamilton and Tompkins, maybe some underneath routes, trying to challenge that man-to-man coverage, some rub routes.
There's a throw across the middle. That's Tom Pankos, the tight end, trying to fill in for Gesicki, but off his hands, and it's 3rd down again.
You know, I mean, and when you throw in the middle to a tight end, look how crowded this is. Look at this throw from McSorley. Look at the arms that are up there. I mean, he got it in there, but you're throwing it through a lot of different arms and bodies there to try to sneak it into a backup tight end who doesn't have a catch yet this year.
You think the backup tight end knows how good Malik Hooker is, and how hard he hits? He seemed to know it there. Hooker, a sophomore who has been a stud this season as a first-year starter.
Different look for Ohio State here on 3rd down. Instead of the 4, they're rushing 3 here.
They're showing pressure. They're definitely looking for a quarterback scramble. They're all over that. McSorley shows some of that moxie. Actually escaped and made something out of it, but McMillan stops him short of the 1st down.
And watch the spin move by Jalen Holmes over here to the outside. He actually does a good job of fighting against Paris Palmer's spin right there. Now you're rushing 3, and now you've got linebackers. You have Baker and McMillan there in case McSorley takes off the scramble. You've got him bracketed, so he can't go left or right. You've got him corralled. There's nowhere for him to go once the 3-man rush got home.
He faked out Jerome Baker, but he couldn't quite escape the tackle of McMillan. Gillikin has been busy. Wilson has been as well. Collects that fair catch. Barrett needs 4 on this 3rd down. He has good protection and delivers. That's Samuel with a little cushion there. 1st down out near midfield.
It's the exact same route that they ran earlier. Remember, they ran it to the right on a 3rd down. This time they're going to run it off to the left here. Again, see how Samuel's stuck here? Works to the outside again. Comfortable, has time, throws it to the outside in between the corner and the linebacker. Nice little window there, and a good feel from Curtis Samuel, guy that plays running back and wide receiver. Some good instincts there as a wide receiver to find that hole.
So still no deep downfield shots, but real efficiency from Ohio State's passing game at the moment. Lions bring some pressure. Barrett still escapes. Are you kidding me? JT Barrett galloping free, dives down near the 30. They had him wrapped up, and he refused to go down.
How did Windsor 54 miss it? I mean, they're bringing everybody. Windsor's right there. He has him. It looked like Schwann had him. The outside linebackers have him. Brandon Smith has him. Not only does he escape a loss, he picks up huge yards, and now they're moving the football.
Barrett again from the pocket. And fires downfield just before he's going to get tackled, and Terry McLaurin, the receiver, makes the catch down inside the 15.
Wow, what an effort to not give up on the play, and watch the recognition here as JT Barrett is falling. He's going to look right there and see a defender that time, Manny Bowen, coming up. As he goes down, 43's coming up. That frees up McLaurin behind him. Recognition as he's fallen, makes the throw.
Buckeyes trying to punch it in here. Pump fake from Barrett. Now flips it short for Weber, who drops it. It takes more than a jersey grab to bring JT down, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Has great lower body strength. That time just working his progressions. He started left with a pump fake, works from the left to the middle to the right to finally checking it down to Mike Weber. Using his eyes and using his shoulders to try to impact the safeties and linebackers, try to freeze them to give his receiver a little bit more room to work with.
Talking about a guy that has more than 2,000 career rushing yards, more than 5,000 career passing yards, 21-2 as a starting quarterback. 2nd and 10. Samuel motions out. Barrett again escapes and now just fires it into the ground. Crowd wants intentional grounding. Manny Bowen that time was able to influence the throw.
He had a receiver there, his tight end in that area.
There is no intentional grounding on the play. There was a receiver in the area. 3rd down.
It's an interesting call here for Urban Meyer on 3rd down. Remember, I showed you Noah Brown in last play. He's been very effective for Ohio State this year in the red zone. He's going to be up at the top, and next to him might be their next best target, Marcus Ball, the big tight end who's already scored a touchdown.
They featured the backs and the tight end Ball with the touchdown. Not really the wide receivers so far tonight. Pressure. Barrett delivers, and that was a misfire. Was behind Ball, who was running a post there. It's 4th and 10.
Yeah, they timed up a blitz very, very well there. They brought Brendan Bell. Chris, you talked about him throughout this entire first half, what he's meant, but he timed it up very, very well and forced JT Barrett to get the ball out quickly. He's trying to go to his receiver, the tight end, into the inside ball. And because of that blitz, he just had to get rid of the football.
So Durbin made it earlier from 33. This from 30. And drives it right through. So Ohio State moves it 58 yards, 9 plays, and adds to the lead here, 12-0 with 1:14 before halftime. Mindful of the fact that Ohio State will get the football to begin the second half. Lions will need a rally similar to the one that we talked about in the game 2 years ago when they got back into it after a scoreless first half and were able to eventually force overtime. Sanders charges up and takes it at the 11 and works his way across the 25. Barkley has carried it just 6 times. He's in the slot to the right of McSorley. Motions back in. They fake it to him. Quarterback rolling out. Nobody open and scampers for a 2-yard gain. Talked about the game here in 2014 when the heroics of Barrett eventually won it. It was a defensive play and helped the Lions rally from 17-0, a defensive touchdown.
Interesting that McSorley was looking to throw right, ends up going out of bounds. It becomes a pivotal play here for both these teams, with Ohio State also having 2 timeouts left.
Barkley has to sidestep traffic in the backfield as Gary and Conley came off the corner very quick and blew the play up. Hubbard on the tackle.
Yeah, Urban Meyer may be thinking about seeing how this half ends. He's going to let the, I guess, going to let the clock continue down.
He's got 2 timeouts to work with. All right, 3rd and 8. It was Penn State that spent a timeout there, not Ohio State. And then McSorley from the pocket fires complete. Godwin has a first down of the first completion in a long time. Lions in business now in midfield.
Yeah, and they get the ball behind the linebackers. First time we've seen them have that chance to give him time to throw and to get a receiver coming across the middle behind the linebacker, McMillan.
At 19 yards, that's the first completion to someone other than Gesicki, who's out. McSorley cannot escape and will be dropped for a short loss. Bosa and Robert Landers was there, another one of those freshmen.
Yeah, a couple freshmen there. That pocket just collapsed, and that's when they rush 4. That's what they have an ability to do. Robert Landers.
Excuse me, Kirk. The Lions going to spend their final timeout here with 29 seconds. Barkley's okay. He's in the game, blocking the blitz as McSorley runs for his life and loops it downfield. And the catch is made down near the 20-yard line. That is Deshaun Hamilton, and his first catch of the night.
Yeah, the junior out of Virginia has great quickness, and this is just adjusting to the ball, and Damon Arnett, the freshman, not quite recognizing where that football was and adjusting back late. But give Hamilton all the credit in the world there, and also McSorley for just putting it up away towards the sideline where only Deshaun Hamilton really had a chance there to get to the football.
So 2 long completions after a bunch of empty pass attempts for McSorley. Move the ball to the red zone here. 21 seconds, no timeouts. Can't afford a sack. McSorley, end zone. Barkley leaping, but broken up. Raekwon McMillan. Those are 2 future NFL players matched up head to head there, huh?
Yeah, and you think about, usually you see a big running back like Barkley at 225 and McMillan at 245. You see him in the middle. This is basically a wheel route after he came in motion all the way down the field, but shows you the athletic ability from Raekwon McMillan. Chris, you brought up a good point. Without any timeouts, be very, very important for Penn State to be smart here with 15 seconds, working the sidelines. Of course, if they can get to the 10-yard line, they can pick up a first down to stop the clock. But this is where McSorley has to be efficient and smart.
Play action. He's going to take a shot for the end zone again. Jump ball. Godwin's got a touchdown. Penn State. And a Penn State passing game that had been in a deep freeze for more than a quarter comes alive on that drive. How enormous was that throw and catch with 9 seconds to go before halftime? Tyler Davis adds the conversion. Wow.
Chris, Ohio State has a lot of confidence in Garyon Conley. They leave him right here one-on-one. You see a safety, Hooker, but he actually comes up because of the action to the running back, Barkley. So they're going to leave him one-on-one up to the top. Now you just got to put it up and away. I'll tell you, Garyon Conley, I think he looked up and found the football, but I think you got to give Godwin a lot of credit.
12-7, Ohio State. Halftime here. The Capital One halftime report is coming up, and Sam will speak with Urban Meyer after these messages.
Coach, what's your biggest concern defensively after the shots they took downfield on that last drive?
Well, they're good wideouts. You know, we've been playing good defense. You give up 1 touchdown by the end of the first half. We're okay. We'll get the ball back early in the first half, second half. We'll be fine. Offensively,
obviously not the type of start you were looking for. In your mind, what's keeping your offense from the success you want?
No, it's I thought going into the game that we could move them up front. It doesn't feel that way, and we got to execute the pass game a little better.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Coach.
JT Barrett and the Buckeyes a 12-7 lead, but it was Penn State driving down the field. Some big plays in the passing game that cut into the lead and really changed the complexion of a first half, Kirk, where defense has dominated. Special teams miscues also played a part as well.
I think the score for Penn State at the end of the half is obviously huge to give them some momentum going in. Ohio State, because Penn State elected to take the ball in the opening coin toss, Ohio State gets the ball to start this second half, and I think how they attack and how they create some momentum of their own here to start the second half will be very big. But the touchdown makes it an interesting game as we get ready here for the second half.
Barrett, 13 pass completions in the first half out of 24 attempts. Also ran it 6 times at a big 4th down conversion. Mike Weber had 60 yards rushing. The good news is that Mike Gesicki, the excellent receiving tight end for Penn State, who left with an ankle injury, appears to be good to go. They've wrapped that thing up. He's trying to get back involved in this game. Harris Campbell close to breaking it, and a kicker, the big fella Joey Julius down to contribute to the tackle, Kirk.
Big fella getting down there actually helped prevent that from becoming a big return.
Barrett on the keeper. The Little Lions undefeated this year, knocking off Harrisburg, a team that featured a couple of future Penn State commits. Little Lions moving to 8-0.
When was the last time you have been in that high school
76.
football?
76. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't do much high school football in the game day. I was down,
man.
I had a blast. It was fun. It was thriller.
Good for you.
But who knows? I don't watch that game in '74. If it's not as compelling as it was, I don't know if I'm sitting next to you. And It's a thrill to call a game here for the first time with you. JT and Samuel collecting it. It'll be 3rd and 2. Brandon Bell, big impact tonight in his welcome back game off the injury.
Curtis Samuel continues to be the guy that JT Barrett knows he can count on to be able to find those openings in that zone between those linebackers and those safeties.
See if Barrett can convert one more time. They only need 2 here. It's so tough to stop the Buckeyes in these situations. Samuel running right, cuts it back. Curtis Samuel in the clear. A foot race. They will not catch him, and the Buckeyes strike quickly early 3rd quarter. 74 yards.
Chris, one of the things that Zeke Elliott left was his ability to block, not just run. Watch Mike Weber here lead the way right there and set that up, that alley. That was Jason Kambinda who was trying to fill the hole, and it was Mike Weber who blew it up and opened it up for Curtis Samuel with that great speed.
That was his first carry tonight. 5 catches in the first half. It took him about 24 plays before they got number 4 involved tonight, but now he's made a huge impact, and Ohio State has stretched the lead back to 12 points.
And if Zeke Elliott is sitting down on Dallas at home tonight, he's got to be proud, because that's one of the things that he prided himself on, was playing physical without the ball in his hands. And that's what Weber did there, to open it up for Curtis Samuel for a huge touchdown for the Buckeyes here.
Brooklyn represented tonight. Sandy Barber, the athletic director for Penn State, acknowledging the 1986 national championship team, which was honored at halftime. Team that knocked off Miami in the Fiesta Bowl, intercepting Vinny Testaverde a bunch of times to win it 14-10.
The fatigues of the Canes showing up.
Like you always say, nobody gave Penn State a chance for about a month, right?
Yep. They were tired of hearing about it. What was it, 5 interceptions by Vinny?
Pete Giftopoulos making the one to secure it down in the red zone. But Ohio State striking quickly to quiet down a crowd that was pretty raucous after the Lions had gotten on the board late 2nd quarter. 3 plays to cover 82, the 74-yard, Ohio State's longest run of the season, and the longest play Penn State had given up this year. Sanders from his goal line finds a little crease, and he's going to be a promising running back and returner in his career. The freshman shows you his skills. And the Lions answer now. They try to feed their stud back, but Saquon Barkley is swarmed under immediately there. Jerome Baker was there. Robert Landers, again, the freshman tackle, disrupted it in the middle.
Again, this is where Landers can make a play. Look at him in the middle, how quick he is. I mean, he's listed at 6'1". He's got to be 5'10". They can't block him because he's so short and quick.
Come out of Dayton, ready for big-time football immediately. He's a true freshman. McSorley thought about a screen. It wasn't there, and now will be dropped for a short loss by Jalen Holmes and another freshman, of course. Nick Bosa has made an impact tonight.
Landers actually forces him to step out away from the pocket. So you have freshman Bosa, but you also have Landers involved again. This is a point in the game at 19-7. You're on the road. Ohio State's talked all week about how tough it is. Urban Meyer is as good as there is at knowing when there's an opportunity to capture a football game, and I think he feels that after that long touchdown run, the crowd is out of the game. Big opportunity here for his defense to try to get the ball back to JT Barrett.
McSorley. Short pass out of the hands of Deshaun Hamilton. Lions will punt. That's a great point. You feel that Urban does it as well as any coach, maybe better than most, just sensing momentum.
Yep, he could feel it. I mean, remember, Penn State scored at the end of the half. Crowd is back into the game. It's 12-7. Penn State's believing. Ohio State gets the big run by Curtis Samuel to get their offense going. I guarantee his message to that defense was, go out there, get a 3 and out. Let's try to kill the will.
Gilligan has it snapped way over his head, and the freshman has to give chase. He falls on it to prevent a touchdown, but it'll be a safety for Ohio State, and another special teams miscue tonight by the Lions.
Well, that never had a chance. Ball went right over top of him. He never even touched the football. Just sailed.
Tyler Yazujian is a really reliable long snapper normally, but he airmailed it. Gilligan did a nice job to at least, prevent a touchdown there. It was a 5-point play to recover it.
Yeah, for a true freshman to have to jump on that ball before the fleet-footed Terry McLaurin is able to get on top of it, saves his team giving up a touchdown there.
Blocked field goal, muffed punt. And now an airmailed snap resulting in a safety for Penn State special teams tonight. Not what they needed. Paris Campbell takes the free kick, and he gets the momentum before being dragged down at the 40-yard line. JT dumps it down. That's Weber's turn to slip and slide out of bounds at the 43. This is Urban Meyer tweeting his support. Lou Griffin and the Cavs drop by to talk to the team, deliver an inspirational speech about championships.
There's a great relationship between Urban Meyer, the Ohio State football team, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, mainly because of LeBron James and how much LeBron loves Ohio State, makes it very, very well known, his support for the Buckeyes. So I think the feeling is mutual from the Cavs and the Buckeyes.
3rd and 11. This time they do drop back and spy Barrett, but that opens things up for Marcus Baugh, who makes the catch and gets the first down.
We'll keep talking about how they working the middle of that defense with Ball, and he can do things after the catch. See, the nose guard drops there, little zone blitz, not affecting the throw. He tried to get his hand up on the ball, but going to be impressed with how Marcus Baugh catches it and then knows where to go for the first down.
And now Weber, a short game. The Buckeyes continue to build that momentum and perhaps bleed away some of the will of this Penn State defense in the final minute of the 3rd quarter with another 3rd down conversion there.
Mike Weber is one of those backs, like a lot of power backs. The more they get the football in their hands, the more they like that. They get better, they get stronger as the game goes on.
He's run for 62, Kirk. He's caught 5 passes through the big block you highlighted on touchdown run by Samuel. JT pursued and dropped by Sickles. A flag comes down, but Sickles, his 2nd sack after sitting out that first half.
Yeah, they got to
come back with a vengeance, huh?
Big time.
For a full day of football.
Holding. Offense number 59. Penalties declined. Brings up 3rd down.
A safety and a touchdown run to build on what was a 5-point halftime lead, and trying to stretch it now as the 3rd quarter winds down. Barrett, shovel pass inside. It's a different look. It's Noah Brown, a receiver, something we haven't seen a lot from them this year. And that'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter as the Buckeyes try to march to building a 14-point lead. End of 3. Happy Valley back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. A couple of big Big Ten showdowns to come for Ohio State, assuming they can get out of here with this lead. Johnston, methodical, waited a while, and that time boots it deep at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, they're still holding out.
Are they still the finest student section in America? You labeled them that.
I did. And
they're proud of that now. You can take that title back from them?
No. It's just to reevaluate, over time.
Oh, all right. It's a fluid thing. It's like the rankings. Right. McSorley takes off and flips it to a wide open Gesicki, who fell down, had nothing but space in front of him.
And Chris, he just got lost in coverage.
Look, he's still limping, Kirk, too.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, if he keeps his feet there, that's a 30 or 40-yard gain.
He got 16. And you can see that after leaving the game early with an ankle problem, he's far from 100%, trying to tough it out. And now Barkley with a burst. Barkley gets away and gallops down inside the 40. He got right around Malik Hooker, the normally reliable safety.
Well, it's a zone read. They're reading Bosa, but watch the block here by the right tackle. Man, double team, climbs up to the linebacker. That's what freed Barkley there, but they read the defensive end, Nick Bosa, and the tackle getting up to that linebacker opened up a nice running lane that time for Saquon Barkley.
He got hit hard at the end of the run by Worley there. He's out of the game, and Miles Sanders, the freshman, is in as McSorley fakes it to him and now goes downfield, looping throw. Blacknall has got it inside the 5. Saeed Blacknall beat Marshawn Lattimore.
I think Ohio State is all of a sudden taking their eye off the ball here and losing a little bit of their aggression. Ball goes up in the air, and Blacknall does a good job waiting on it. Somehow holds on to that football. A progressive pylon cam there gives you a really good view of him holding on to the football.
After a 37-yard run by Barkley, a 35-yard pass play sets the Lions up at the 2. Quarterback keeper and misfire. Gesicki was wide open, and Trace would like to have that back.
This is what you talk about when you have linebackers like this looking in the backfield. You look in the backfield, you completely lose your responsibility. Sliding right behind, he's wide open.
That wasn't a little off, Kirk. That was a lot off.
Yeah.
This guy's 6'6", and he has a huge catch radius.
Absolutely.
Barkley back in the game on 2nd and goal. Again, quarterback rolling out, chased by Worley, and diving for the pylon. Touchdown. Trace McSorley makes up for the misfire by taking it in himself, and Penn State still in it.
What great speed to get around the edge there, around Worley, and also Raekwon McMillan. They knew he was going to keep that football. It was a foot race. Another look at the progressive pylon cam. They knocked it out there, but look at that race right there. How about Penn State? Back against the wall. Fans are a little bit lukewarm on thinking about a possibility of a comeback here in the 4th quarter.
It's got to feel pretty good, Kirk, as a quarterback who made a very poor throw and a wide open touchdown to just take it in yourself the next play.
Well, the run by the big run by the running back opened it up, and then the play downfield, and just like that, they're in the end zone.
What about Nebraska, unbeaten going to Camp Randall?
Boy, what a game that'll be. I think Wisconsin right now continues to be the best 2-loss team out there. Played well today, get out of there Iowa City with a win.
Julius drives the kickoff out. How many of those fans thought the Lions were going to go 90 yards in 5 plays to cut it to 7? High snap, Barrett corrals it, now the ball's on the ground, and Penn State says they have it. Weber may have gotten the ball back after a mishandled exchange, as Ohio State does have the ball and dodges disaster.
Yeah, it looked like Manny Bowen, number 43, the outside linebacker, along with Mike Weber, went after the football. And it looked like Bowen had a chance. He comes off to the right. Ball is on the ground right there. Watch them both go for it. And Mike Weber uses that strength definitely to get the football back for Ohio State. They catch a break.
How about that high snap, bad timing. Offensive lineman actually bumps into Weber and forces the fumble.
Sloppy execution.
Buckeyes have only lost 2 fumbles on the season. Now the Lions bring pressure. JT steps away and delivers, and it's a catch made by Bosch. Short game, but again, the Lions can't quite get 16 to the ground.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of mixing up the looks here. There's Marcus Ball, who's really been one of his go-to targets tonight, throwing the football, limping off. But again, the pressure, that time it was 43, Manny Bowen bringing that outside linebacker pressure off to the right of JT Barrett.
Ball got rolled up on the ankle, so he's out on this 3rd and 10.
Keep in mind, Garrett Sickles, number 90, has been a force here in this 2nd half. He's up at the top there.
Samuel slot near right. Barrett has to step up, elude pressure again, keeps his eyes downfield, and now will just run out of bounds short of the 1st down. Ryan Buchholz, one of the backup defensive ends, gave chase, and Penn State's defense gets a stop.
The 2 defensive ends, Sickles and Schwann, do a good job of collapsing, but the Penn State defense does a good job not letting JT Barrett escape into the pocket and have room to run for that 1st down, and great coverage downfield by the secondary. The Lions are going to get the ball back.
Cameron Johnston, a steady punter. More than steady, he's spectacular. He's a weapon, but it's blocked. will be turned over inside the 30-yard line. Troy Apke, a backup safety, collects it, and Penn State special teams makes a huge play.
That looked like the freshman Cam Brown, 31, who might have got a hand on the football. Johnston, who is one of the best punters, Chris, watch 31. He's a true freshman. It's 6'5", 220 pounds. He got his right hand on it to knock that ball away. And Penn State, again, looking to capitalize on a huge opportunity.
Johnston is everything you'd want in a punter, but a little methodical there, rugby style, and the Aussie cannot believe it. Terrific play by that rangy freshman Brown. Would you have believed this turnaround? Lions a touchdown away from tying this game. Gesicki stays on his feet and gets inside the 20. He's playing hurt, but he's still contributing.
We talk about Marcus Ball being a tremendous athlete as a tight end. Gesicki, even with the hurt ankle, goes up into the air, and because he's so long, he's able to extend for an 8-yard gain.
Barkley dances free and cannot escape. Couldn't get the corner because Saquon Lewis chased him down, but grabbed him with a horse collar and draws the flag.
Yeah, that's definitely a horse collar by Lewis. He's trying to make sure that Barkley doesn't get to the edge. Loses containment just a bit. Right there, grabs onto the jersey.
Horse collar tackle. Defense number 59. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
He didn't want to give up that edge, but in the process, he grabs the back of that jersey, which is an automatic horse collar, and a 15-yard penalty. Down to the 10-yard line now.
He grabbed just above the number, not the neck, which you typically see when you get that call. Moves the ball, as you said, to the 10-yard line, and Penn State, incredibly, improbably, trying to tie this game. All right, that's not. McSorley dropped for a loss. Dave, what did you start to say?
Well, you take a look at that. He's got the back of the jersey below the collar line. He's got to have his finger in the collar line or in the shoulder pad. Looks to me like it's below.
McSorley will lose 6 yards after that penalty, so suddenly 2nd and goal from way back at the 16. McSorley pressured, tries to escape on the far side, a short gain, and now a 3rd and goal.
It's an interesting point, Dave. I think anytime we see a defender grab onto the back of a jersey, the assumption is a horse collar. You're saying his hand needs to go up to be able to pull that down.
Well, you can see it. You can see about 4 inches of daylight from that collar and where the grab is.
Typical Big Ten stuff here. Penn State. What's the call, Kirky? And 3rd and goal from the 16 here.
I think you take a shot to Godwin up at the top.
McSorley, he looked that way. Now he's running for his life and just has to fire it away. They gave him some help over there, didn't they? Buckeyes?
Yeah, and Ohio State, I think, is anticipating the same thing. They had 2 different defenders dropping with Godwin. Remember, it's 3rd down. You're going to take a shot in the end zone, either to tight end Gesicki or to Godwin, who's already gone up and over Conley for a touchdown. Ohio State waiting on it, had 2 defenders there to take him away, and all he could do was throw it away.
So here's Tyler Davis, whose first attempt from 39 was blocked. His first miss after 18 consecutive makes. This from 34 yards. And he knocks it right through. But after the blocked punt from Penn State special teams, they don't get the tying touchdown, have to settle for 3. But they're chipping away at things and very much alive in this 4th quarter. Julius with the kickoff, and Campbell 2 yards deep, bringing it out. Harris, Campbell can't escape, and the Lions coverage team does a nice job there. Von Walker on the tackle.
The Penn State offense had that 5-play 90-yard drive to get the block punt. Defense is starting to gain some confidence. Let's see JT Barrett, the Buckeyes, on how they attack. Pinned back a little bit deeper in their territory. than they had hoped.
Marcus Balkirk is back in the game. He just went in motion there, the tight end. Quick penetration. Weber just barely escaped the backfield, but then runs that out for a 7-yard gain.
They keep shooting the blitz with Manny Bowen. He almost got to JT Barrett. I think JT Barrett, the last thing he's thinking about on his own read is a guy jumping him from behind, but right there he almost did. He just got the ball handed off there to Mike Weber.
Weber picks his way and moves the sticks for the first down across the 23.
Urban Meyer would hope that the Ohio State offensive line would be able to kind of assert themselves better tonight, control the line of scrimmage, run the power running game, be able to sustain some long drives. But Penn State playing in this atmosphere with a very gritty attitude tonight, making it tough on Ohio State in their running game.
Urban would love one of those long, grinding 6-7 minute drives to bleed the clock and perhaps build on the lead. But Weber stuffed immediately by Sickles.
Well, this, take Garrett Sickles, who missed the first half. He's held out in the first half. He has been all over the field here in the second half. Has 8 tackles now, 3.5 tackles for a loss, 2.5 sacks. I mean, he's been all over the field.
Missed some classes in the bye week and had to sit out the first half, but he is coming back with a vengeance here in the final 30 minutes. JT from the pocket now. Delivers across the middle. Brown's running free. Noah Brown, a big catch and run into Penn State territory. And the Buckeyes in business again.
Watch how JT Barrett does a good job here of actually moving the linebacker. Does a nice job with Bell. See the eyes right there, moves him to the left, opens up the vacancy right there to Noah Brown. But it's the eyes to the left shoulders that moves Brandon Bell, and then it creates that opening where Noah Brown is coming into. Well done by JT Barrett.
Barrett after halftime, just like last week on the road in Madison. Terrific second half. 9 for 9 here, 83 yards passing and some big runs. That time threw it behind Ball, who was struggling on that leg. Couldn't make the cut, move back to it.
You've got to admire both these tight ends tonight. Gesicki has fought through an ankle injury, and now we're seeing Marcus Ball, he and Barrett trying to get on the same page there. So important with where Ohio State is in their passing game, without the ability to just have that explosive play. It's the interior where they're attacking, and Ball is a big part, along with Noah Brown, on how they're throwing the football tonight. And to lose him would really hurt JT Barrett in the passing game.
Great point. Both tight ends are sucking up. They know the value to the team, and they're trying to play through some pain tonight. This is Samuel. It's a backwards pass, and he spins, is knocked down hard. Sharif Miller made the tackle and goes inside the 30. It'll be 3rd and long.
Good support there by Golden's, the safety 6. Ohio State and Urban Meyer is part of their offense. They stretch you horizontally. Try to set up sometimes once they stretch you horizontally. Then they'll try to come back in their passing game in between those middle linebackers.
Empty backfield again on 3rd and 7.
Ohio State sideline going crazy trying to get the play changed for JT Barrett.
And Barrett right down the middle, almost intercepted. He lofted the ball up, and John Reed, the corner, was the closest on making a play. McLaurin was the receiver.
And what they saw, why they were going crazy, is they had a one-on-one opportunity with McLaurin to be able to try to win against John Reed. You know, they've not gone downfield vertically, but I think they felt that McLaurin had a chance because of the formation to be able to create a little bit of a rub route and to get behind him. But give Reed a lot of credit for being able to avoid the other Ohio State receiver and be in position. Almost came up with the interception.
Urban thought about it. Now they're going to rush the field goal team out here because this is a career-long attempt for Tyler Durbin, who's super reliable inside of 40. This is from 45, and it's blocked. Lions scoop it up. Grant Haley will score. Marcus Allen made the block. The veteran safety. Haley scooped it up, and Penn State incredibly has the lead.
And Urban Meyer, usually special teams, such a strength for Ohio State. They've had the block punt, now the block field goal, this one for a touchdown.
.427 to play. Davis to make it a 3-point lead, and nothing is automatic on a night like this with the special teams. Able to get it up and through. First half was a special teams disaster for Penn State. Serious atonement as this blocked field goal has given the Lions the lead.
See him get airborne to knock that ball down, and the presence of mind of Haley to pick that ball up and to be able to have the speed to take it all the way to the end zone.
An enormous block at Beaver Stadium. Franklin and the Lions are up. 4:27 left. A 17-0 fourth quarter Penn State run, keyed by a blocked punt that set up a field goal, and then a blocked field goal by that man, Marcus Allen, the safety, and the corner Grant Haley picks it up and scoops 60 yards for a go-ahead touchdown. And suddenly, this 20-game road winning streak. Meyer's teams have never lost a road game since he took over there. All on the line. Julius gives Campbell a chance, but he drops the ball, has to pick it up. And Paris Campbell knocked down at the 11-yard line. So another good job by the Lions special teams. Haley, who had the touchdown, starting corner, not in the game right now. They're giving him a breather. Barrett chased immediately, escapes again, eyes downfield, but he'll just scoot out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Lions are getting after the quarterback.
A miscommunication on the offensive line by Ohio State on the right side with Billy Price and Isaiah Prince. Remember, Ohio State has had trouble last week and this week with Jamarco Jones, the left tackle, and Isaiah Prince, the right tackle, with outside pressure. It's been a concern for them, sometimes causing them to jump a little bit, a little early. But right now, Penn State with Schwann 94 and Sickles 90, they have cranked up the outside pressure on Barrett.
JT got to hurry here. Just gets it away from the pocket, delivers to Samuel. Stepped out of bounds before he was shoved out by a defender. It'll be third down and short.
See if he stays in bounds there.
Is there some green between the shoe and the line? Didn't matter. He got knocked
talking
out
about another yard, maybe. Penn State, again, they're not feeling threatened downfield at all. It's really about Ohio State. They're trying to keep everything in front and trying to rally to the football.
Lions rush forward. Barrett has to step up and delivers over the middle to Samuel, and they move the sticks. Clutch.
But I tell you, Curtis Samuel has made some big plays here. He's going to work into the middle here. Does a great job. And how about JT Barrett? Watch him work in the pocket. Keeps his focus downfield, and a nice job of finding Curtis Samuel. Look at the eyes. He knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball, but to be able to maneuver around inside that pocket, keep his focus downfield, that's a big-time play there.
Good catch, too, because Marcus Allen hit Samuel as soon as the ball arrived. They get 14 on 3rd and 9. And now Barrett, he just dumps it off short. Took a brief look downfield, Kirk, but again just has to check it down to Weber.
Yeah, Penn State taking away anything that might be downfield. Again, if you're Brent Fry, the defensive coordinator, that's the message to this defense. They played very well. I don't think, again, they feel threatened by the vertical pass, but they want to keep everything in front and then rally to the football here. Getting now close to 2 minutes with Ohio State still 2 timeouts remaining.
Exactly, Kirk, but with this clock running, this is beginning to feel like, who knows, perhaps Ohio State's last chance. Barrett chased again flips it to Weber, who works the sidelines and will dive out of bounds across the 30. It'll be 30 short now.
Penn State getting tremendous pressure. They're not even blitzing here. It's just they're rushing for and whipping the Ohio State offensive line in pass protection. It's very, very hard to execute in a passing game when a defensive line is doing a good job of getting pressure with 4, and they've got 7 guys looking into the eyes of JT Barrett without a vertical passing game. Makes it pretty hard on the quarterback. Man-to-man across the board here.
Empty backfield again, and once again Barrett has to hurry. Snaps it at 2. Delivers. No, the catch is made. Wilson just able to make the catch as the Lions were jumping and trying for the pick.
Well, I thought Malik Golden 6. Watch him coming from center field. He gets a jump on it. He comes in just a little bit late. JT Barrett does a good job of getting the ball out of his hands quickly, and he put it in a spot where Wilson could protect the football with his body.
So Barrett has made 2 clutch plays to keep this drive alive. Approaching a minute and a half left. Blitz again. Barrett just has to throw the ball away to avoid a sack. Pressure from Sharif Miller.
This time Penn State actually bringing the blitz. They are mixing up this looks for the offensive line, doing a good job of mixing up coverage downfield. See Manny Bowen here. The outside linebacker gets in there, almost affects him. They chase him out of the pocket. Miller almost gets to him, and Barrett very, very fortunate to keep that play alive and just to be able to throw it away to stop the clock and not have the sack and have to use a timeout.
The guys have already taken 3 minutes to move 31 yards. Barrett going downfield, taking a deep shot, and it's off the helmet. James Clark was out there, then it bounced off his head. Jordan Smith was in coverage.
It was a great throw. I don't know if he lost the football. The ball bounced on, looked like off of his forehead, right off of his helmet. Ball is thrown right on the money here. Right hand he uses to pull down here, right off the face mask.
The arm pulled just before the ball got there by Jordan Smith. Just a split second, but not enough to draw a flag. 3rd and 10. Buckeye fans, of course, will scream for interference, but that was close. Barrett sacked. Jason Kabinda got him. It's 4th and real long.
They slant the defensive line this way, and they bring Kabinda around to the right of Isaiah Prince, 59. See how he collapsed down? Made it easy for Kabinda to come down. Well-designed blitz there by Penn State, and Brent Fry, and the leader who has missed the last 4 games, comes up with a huge play for the Nittany Lion defense.
And Ohio State, Kurt, is going to have to convert on 4th and real long because they were so methodical in this drive. You and I were watching the clock bleed away. It took a long time to get things going here. They don't have enough time now. One defensive play away from perhaps securing that breakthrough landmark victory. 4th and 23. Barrett steps up, pressured again and dropped. And Penn State is going to get their signature win on a whiteout night in Happy Valley. Thanks to special teams and a pass rush and just enough clutch offensive plays.
It's Garrett Sickles and Evan Schwan. They've done it all night, coming off the edge. Force JT Barrett to step up into the pocket, and there's nowhere for him to go.
Kirk, has the biggest surprise been to you Ohio State offensive line's inability to control Penn State's front?
Yeah, and I think, if you look at the last 2 weeks against Indiana and Wisconsin, I'm sure that's a big part of Urban Meyer and Ed Warner's frustration.
And a night that Penn State fans and these players will not forget. That was Marcus Allen who made the block of the field goal. This buddy Grant Haley took 60 yards for a touchdown. McSorley in shotgun victory formation as the seconds tick down, Kirk. And we watch this playoff race unfold. Haven't really had an upset that really shakes things up until tonight, as number 2 is going to go down.
Yeah, it always happens. Every year you think you have an idea of how things are going to play out, and they never quite do. And this is the big upset, the first domino. But again, this to me isn't really about the standings or the rankings in the playoff. To me, this is a great football game, and Penn State deserves a lot of credit for the way they were able to make plays. Their offense with McSorley didn't look like they were going to have enough tonight, but they did. They came up with it, and this is a big one.
Not since 1964 as an unranked Penn State team beating an opponent ranked in the top 2. Way before all these students were born and their parents were born. A night that those here will not forget, the Penn State family. Sam has Coach Franklin.
Well, Chris, I can't hear you. After being an underdog at home, what does this win do for your program?
I'm just happy for our kids. I really am. Just happy for our kids. Kids, the former players that let them in this town has been through a lot. So this is the start of our healing process tonight. So couldn't be prouder.
Coach, when you look at the performance that your defensive line had against an impressive offensive line and the penetration that they got tonight, what can you say about their performance?
I want to say something real quick. My niece and nephew, Kendra Jeremy, lost their dad on Tuesday night. And this game and this win is for them as well.
Coach, I appreciate you saying that.
Well, this valley hasn't been this happy in a long time. And there are plenty of heroes. What a tremendous scene here at Penn State. An unforgettable night for the Nittany Lions and their fans as they stun Ohio State with 17 in the fourth quarter, 24-21. We're at Tallahassee next Saturday night for the Clemson Tigers and the Seminoles. This game was produced by Bill Padell, directed by Derek Mobley. For our entire talented, dedicated crew here in Happy Valley, a monumental whiteout night for Penn State. And we'll see you next week from Tallahassee. The Ford Wrap-Up Show is coming up right now as we send it to Cassidy Hubbard.